of weeks ago, Michael Woods Jr. promoted a video clip of him being interviewed by Joe Rogan. The video was about Michael defending the criminal activities of the Black Lives Matter movement and their racist attack against white people. I was extremely shocked at how deceitful Michael was in that video, especially when discussing the criminal activities of Black Lives Matter. However, in this video, I'm going to take the talking points made by Michael Woods Jr. and destroy them with facts. I'm also going to show just how disingenuous he is when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Like Michael Woods, I too am an ex-police officer, so I will bring you the facts while Michael bring you fiction. So let's get started and hear what Michael has to say.
Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here? Because I know you got a bunch of notes there.
It's just that one of the big things that we see is everybody keeps fighting against the Black Lives Matter thing, and it's like we're not understanding what it is.
I think by now people have a pretty good understanding of what Black Lives Matter is all about. But just in case you don't, let me show you what Black Lives Matter is all about instead of telling you. Last year, around about 2015, I really didn't know much about the Black Lives Matter movement. I didn't know who they were and what they were all about. But when I saw how they aggressively bullied Bernie Sanders off the stage in Seattle, Washington, I quickly learned that this group wasn't about shit.
We thank you for honoring us with your presence.
This is as far as Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders got into his Social Security speech at Westlake Park.
Thank you, Seattle, for being one of the most progressive cities in the United States of America.
Moments later, Black Lives Matter activists rushed the stage.
We are trying. We're gonna let you on the mic.
Activists who last year shut down a holiday tree lighting in the same park today prevented the most progressive candidate for president from speaking to thousands of people who came to hear him.
We are shutting. We will shut it down.
After about 20 minutes, Sanders' wife Jane appeared to give the signal it was time to go. Soon after, they left the stage.
It was just disrespectful.
This is when I lost all respect for Bernie Sanders. I mean, how can a man of power allow some hood rats to bully him off his own stage? I mean, if you couldn't handle that, how could you handle being the president of the United States of America? But Black Lives Matter got their asses handed to them when they tried to do the same thing to the first black president of the United States. That's right, folks, President Bill Clinton. Honey, let me tell you, not only did Bill give them the smackdown of truth, but he showed them that the devil is a liar. I call him Reverend Bill Clinton because he gave a good sermon that day, a sermon of truth. Watch this.
I like protesters, but the ones that won't let you answer are afraid of the truth. That's a simple rule. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. I don't know how you would characterize the gang leaders who got 13-year-old kids hopped up on crack and sent them out onto the street to murder other African-American children. Maybe you thought they were good citizens. She didn't. She didn't. You are defending the people who kill the lives you say matter. Tell the truth.
In their place. Woo! We got church up in here. So now Black Lives Matter decide to up their game. And how do they do that? By blocking traffic on major highways. Yes, the leader of Black Lives Matter said, "How do we get our message across? I know! Let's stop hardworking citizens from getting to their jobs on time in the morning."
This was the scene this morning. Thousands of irate commuters at a standstill, some getting out of their cars and taking matters into their own hands. One of the many angry drivers trying to get to work this morning was Tyree Landrum. In a moment that ended up going viral this morning, he got out of his car and pushed one of the protesters towards the center divider, wrestling his bullhorn away. The protesters were chanting, "No justice, no peace." Landrum wanted to send his own message. Many drivers felt the same sentiment, that the main injustice here was preventing them from getting to work in the middle of morning rush hour.
You guys don't have to go to work. They don't really know anything about the real issue, you know? They're just complaining about something that could be dealt with differently.
Meanwhile, many healthcare workers out of their cars and in their scrubs trying to get to area hospitals.
We have doctors and nurses who have the same life here, okay?
I gotta go to Ross right now, homie. If I don't get there, I'm gonna get fired. I got 6 kids to feed, and these niggas Carlos. Day goes on, homie. He's out every day. Deal with it the right way, not like this.
The drivers on scene rejoiced when the CHP and STPD showed up in force.
Spend the night in jail. That's where you guys are going to jail tonight.
So since this was successful, they decided to take this unlawful scheme to other major cities nationwide. It was a hit and miss in certain cities, but in San Francisco, it really did some major damage. Black Lives Matter went on the San Francisco Bridge and stopped major traffic during rush hour in the afternoons. A lot of these people were just coming home from work, and some were probably going to work. You know how you get off of work and you just want to get home and rest, or you want to see your family? Well, a lot of these motorists didn't have that opportunity because they were held hostage on that bridge for over 5 hours.
Dozens of protesters were arrested Monday afternoon after taking over California's Bay Bridge. Demonstrators, led by Black Lives Matter, shut it down, chaining their cars across the 5 lanes of the span and bringing traffic to a standstill. It was a traffic nightmare for the thousands of people trying to get somewhere during rush hour. Here's how our San Francisco station KPIX, led by reporter Andrea Borba, reported the news on the evening broadcast.
Now, the protest spanned all 5 lanes of the westbound Bay Bridge, about a half a mile from Yerba Buena Island. The California CH Highway Patrol says 5 cars and 10 people used heavy chains to connect the vehicles to temporary cement barriers on either side of the bridge. It took bolt cutters to get through the chains and often several different tools just to get through one chain. CHP and Caltrans tried to reach the protest from the Emeryville side of the bridge, but found themselves too backed up and stuck in traffic. Here's what the CHP had to say about the protest.
The big difficulty was getting the bolt cutters here. We were able to do that within 15 to 20 minutes of our arrival. We were able to successfully cut the parties apart, and we were able to peacefully move them over the side. You know, we obviously didn't want, if we could avoid the minimum force usage, and we were able to do that. And they went cooperatively after we would cut them loose.
It's not fair. You know, I can understand, you know, the message, but the way they're going about doing it, that's not right.
No, it's not right, brother. It's really stupid to stand in the middle of traffic and stop innocent people from getting to their destination. People that have nothing to do with what you're fighting for. But don't worry. People started getting tired of Black Lives Matter shit. And since they were breaking the law by blocking traffic, drivers decided to break the law by running their asses over. I mean, those cars were bulldozing them down like Legos. And the next thing you know, they stopped blocking traffic. Imagine that. So after realizing that standing in the middle of a street or highway was a little hazardous to their health, they decided to take their protest to a much safer place, the mall.
And marksman charged with guarding the mall, Henry Skull. Launching a federal investigation into Henry's murder.
By the way, this was done at a prominent mall in a white upper class area. You see, Black Lives Matter go after timid white people in the suburbs. They don't bring their asses to the hills where the rednecks shop. And they definitely stay out of the hood. Because if you think you're going to stop Shaquita from getting her hair done and her nails did, you better think again, honey. So that was also successful. And since they still were safe and they weren't getting run over or killed, they decided to go to another place full of white people. Another place safe. The library.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Do you know
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Do you think
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Do you think Black Lives Matter?
What is the point of getting the white guy's face talking about, do you think Black Lives Matter? Do you think Black Lives Matter? Like, what do you expect him to say? Hell no, I don't like no niggers. You need to get on the boat, go back to Africa where you came from and die. White power.
White power! Lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
The sad part about that protest is that this is probably the first time any of them have been in the library. So now Black Lives Matter goes from harassing white students at college libraries to harassing white people at exclusive restaurants having brunch.
A black person in America is killed by police, armed security guards, or self-appointed vigilantes.
These are our brothers and sisters.
These are our brothers and sisters.
Today and every day we honor their lives.
Today and every day we honor their lives.
Anthony Hill, 27, Atlanta, Georgia.
Ashe!
Tony Robinson, 19, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ashe! Please stand with us and raise your hands if you stand for Black lives.
Intimidating and bullying white people into submission was not enough for Black Lives Matter. As a matter of fact, one member decides to create racial tension by threatening the members of Black Lives Matter behind a bogus Twitter profile.
Students at Kane University react to this afternoon's news that these very threatening tweets, "I will shoot every black woman and male I see at Kane University," "I will kill all the blacks tonight, tomorrow, and any other day if they go to Kane University," and other similar tweets came from an African-American former student. Police say 24-year-old Kayla Simone McKelvey was participating in this days-long demonstration in the center of campus, supporting other colleges' black rights protests. Right here in front of the clock tower at Kane University is where this student protest was, and according to investigators, this young woman went there to the library, and that's where she set up the Twitter account. Using the handle KaneU Against Black, she sent the threatening tweets. Federal investigators say they'd been working no fewer than 5 fatal college shootings at the time. McKelvey has now been charged with third-degree creating a false alarm.
And Kayla McKelvey was sentenced to 90 days in jail. When she gets out of jail, she has to perform 100 hours of community service, and she'll be on 5 years of probation. Girlfriend, were the tweets worth it? So next we have Black Lives Matter activists successfully shutting down the lecture giving by Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo is a gay conservative journalist and speaker who is openly against feminism and social justice warriors. But Black Lives Matter decided that this gorgeous Brit had no right exercising his freedom of speech in our country, honey.
And the reason you can't see them is because they're not there. Nothing happened. I mean, hello, darling.
Sir, please,
do you need some help?
Sir,
Do you
please.
need some help?
Sir, please.
We'd like to ask you to please.
Sir, please.
Can we ask you to stop, please?
Sir. Sir.
We good! What you got to say? What you got to say?
Have y'all noticed the demographics of Black Lives Matter? No? Well, I have. I noticed that Black Lives Matter consists of aggressive alpha black females and submissive beta black males. Since the black community as a whole does not embrace homosexuality, Black Lives Matter to me appears to be a black version of the LGBTQ organization in disguise, but extremely racist. So now it's time to get to the violent actions of Black Lives Matter. The next couple of minutes will consist of footage with extreme language and violence. And if this is sensitive to you, please click on the red box or the timestamp displayed on this screen. Now we'll see a Black Lives Matter member encourage other black people to go out and kill innocent white people. She also instructs black people to take guns from rookie police officers and kill them with it. I'm not going to show all of the footage because, first of all, it's just hard to watch, and the video is going to be long as it is. But here's a taste of what she said to the black community on YouTube.
We're going to fight back. We're not going to take it anymore. So right now we declare open season on a motherfucking cracker. All you motherfucking crackers, y'all need to watch your motherfucking heads. You need to protect your motherfucking selves because we coming for you. We coming for all you motherfuckers and all the descendants of you motherfuckers.
And that was the scene outside the Clayton County Courthouse as Latasha Ned went before Judge Dallas on charges including terroristic threats and criminal solicitation. Police say they arrested Ned after seeing videos of her online with a gun and a machete advocating bringing harm to whites and police officers. Ned's attorney told the judge his client was defending herself from someone who had threatened her and she was exercising her rights to free speech. In the end, Judge Dallas said Ned's language was inciting and was more than an expression of free speech.
You show two police officers and say it's open season on killing cracker cops. Does that fix the problems that we have in this country? Or does it add to the problems that we have in this country?
An Iraq War veteran is recovering after he was attacked and robbed at a McDonald's by a group of teenagers here in Washington, D.C. Police have released surveillance footage of the attack Friday night at the restaurant in downtown Washington in hopes that it will lead to the suspects. Sergeant Chris Marquez, a Marine who fought in Fallujah, says the group of teenagers started taunting him while he ate his meal, asking him if he believed Black Lives Matter. Marquez says when he didn't respond, they followed him outside where they knocked him unconscious and robbed him.
I found it very ironic because the person calling me the racist was the actual racist, and they have no idea about my background, what I did for this country, or what other people like myself, every day we do for this country.
Marquez suffered head and neck injuries in the attack. The story has received very little national attention, except on this channel.
Directly ahead, big scandal with Black Lives Matter. One of their big shots arrested for pimping, human trafficking. And this guy says he was invited to the White House for an event just days after the bust. Personal story segment tonight. Major scandal for the group Black Lives Matter. This man, 33-year-old Charles Wade, has been arrested in Maryland, charged with human trafficking, pimping. Police say he was running a 17-year-old prostitute out of a motel. Reason this is a scandal is because Wade says he was invited to the White House just 2 days ago after he was busted. Now, we don't know the timeline on that, but he was invited for a movie screening. We've called the White House and haven't gotten back to us. Also, this guy, innocent until proven guilty, so we all want to remember that, was the subject of a rather complimentary article in the Washington Post and even appeared on CBS News.
You into healing so quickly. Like, people are already after Ferguson, and I'm in Ferguson after Ferguson? Are you kidding me? How are we after Ferguson when when the very thing that got us here has happened 2 more times in 3 months? For some people, justice is a legal victory. That's not justice for me. To me, justice is equality and accountability.
And now Mr. Wade will find out if he will be held accountable by the justice system.
Everybody keeps fighting against the Black Lives Matter thing, and it's like we're not understanding what it is.
Oh yeah, Michael. We understand perfectly what it is.